Bitcoin bouncing nicely as we move into the afternoon trading session today. We're going to break down a full analysis of Bitcoin's price and possible trade setups. Meanwhile, a major cafe crackdown in China, try to say that 5 times real fast, reveals one of the most extensive mining malware rackets to date. BitMEX lashes out at Binance for plagiarism. Experts call on the United States to ban cryptocurrency. And we answer the most pressing question of our times. Does Donald Trump stand like a centaur without its hind legs? In today's exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. Let's go. Welcome to Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live here in the studio Wednesday, September 4th, 2019. Foul year of our Lord, your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders. I'm your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at crackingcryptocurrency.com. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from, and whether you're watching us from across YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook, or on Roku. With the Investor News Channel app. Support the show if you want, guys. Make sure to subscribe with the bell icon because notifications don't seem to work because YouTube doesn't like cryptocurrency. Make sure to follow and share this around even to people you don't even like and engage in that live chat. Thumbs up are mandatory and leave a comment after the show if you guys want to hear back from me. Today's episode of Breaking Bitcoin is brought to you by us. If you are a new, aspiring, or experienced trader looking to sharpen your skills and you would like to trade with a group with a proven statistical edge, head over to premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com to see all the group can offer to you, as well as exclusive trade setups and signals, our proprietary indicators, our pathways to profit strategy building course, and our supportive community. Again, that's premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com if you guys would like to crush it right alongside us. And we've got such a fantastic show for you guys today. We still got some X42 to give away. So I want to thank yesterday's crypto comment giveaway winner, Young Snackers. Yes, it was Young Snackers. Come to find out, that was actually the son of one of our members. So shout out to both of you guys. It's awesome to keep it in the family. Awesome to keep it in the community as we do around here. Just no if, right to conviction. I want to thank last month's and continuing crypto comment giveaway sponsor, X42 Protocol. Make sure to go check them out at x42.tech. Okay, yeah, here we are in the live scene, coming live to you from Osaka, Japan, guys. Yes, we've got some hot tea, or is it cold coffee? I'm not telling. Okay, we've got a lot to talk about today. We've got so much to go over in the chart. We've got so much to go over as far as news goes. It's going to be a fantastic show. So make sure to follow along in the live chat, guys. If you have any questions, let me know what you're thinking. What are my thoughts about almost every YouTuber and trader expecting Bitcoin to move? What do I expect? Trade against the masses? You know, I'd like to say yes, but I'm not really, that's a strategy. That's a popular strategy, like trade against what everybody else is thinking. But at the same time, I'd like to point out that, there's just as many YouTubers and traders out there who are trading this. And this is like, oh my God, look at all this crap. But they're trading the descending triangle meme. And as the triangle tightens up, a lot of individuals are going to sell this level and they're thinking, well, we're going to come back down and test 9,000. I'm going to buy in there. We're going to moon from there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them get invalidated, because often what happens with chart patterns. So first off, there's no edge to trading chart patterns. But what I've often seen is that by the time a chart pattern becomes evident, like fairly visible even to an untrained eye, then that is generally the time, once you plan a trade setup around it, it does not end up playing out as well as you do. But trading against the masses, I don't know. I think that we're in an overall, as I said, we've seen, as we talked about, we've seen distressing things on the weekly. We saw that close below the weekly baseline. We saw that second consecutive monthly close, and we'll get into this in just a little bit. So those are warning signs on those higher time frames. But at the same time, we had that weekly bullish baseline crossover. And as I've said before, that really says bull market to me. Now, can that invalidate? Are we always going to see repeating fractals of previous market cycles? No, of course not. Every moment in the market is unique. Every bull run is unique. Every bearish trend is unique. Every single movement in the market is unique. And this is why fractals are nonsense. Repeating patterns are nonsense. Blah, 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 blah. You just have to find a system that has a repeatable edge. But those things do speak bullish to me. And I think that we're just in this really interesting time where attempting to, and again, I don't think that attempting to try and predict the macro and micro terms are going to be the most confluent to success. Again, the way that I trade and the way that I teach is to ignore a lot of that noise and just focus on grinding your statistical edge, grinding the strategy that you've created. So, a lot of the speculation, it's fun. Like, are we, obviously let's talk about the meme scenarios of where we're at. Bitcoin is going to bull run because of economic tensions, because of trade wars, because of tariffs, because of global recession, because of this, because of that. Could, maybe, who knows? I don't know. As an investor, I continue to see the value in Bitcoin. I continue to stock Bitcoin away, but I also continue to stock gold and stocks away because I think that is the smart way to go about diversifying and investing in the market. And as an investor, not really worrying about timing it, right? So two things can be simultaneously true. I think that, most people just go in either extreme, right? So most people hear the investment advice that tells you not to trade, that timing the market is silly, and they just tell you to buy and hold. And I think that's probably the best investment strategy out there. It's the best investment strategy statistically, mathematically, over the past century. Is just to buy at any point in time and just hold it until you die. If you buy something that's quality, if you buy something that's valuable, and whether that's precious metals or a good company's stock or Bitcoin, doesn't really matter. But when it comes to an active source of income, and again, a lot of people have the danger of cognitive dissonance when it comes to this, but it's not. These two are not mutually exclusive. You can trade the market and play interday, not intraday, but intraday as well if you want, which is day to day, right? And intraday would be within one day. Volatility, and do that successfully with not a whole lot of startup capital, to be quite honest with you, in cryptocurrency with as volatile as we are, with good money management skills and a good technical strategy, and form a reliable source of active income. While the growth from your investments provide passive income in the form of dividends, if you're investing in dividend stocks, as I like to, or if you're dollar cost averaging out of your investments, which again is not really congruent with my strategy, or if you have other forms of passive income such as sales funnels, or maybe you've written a book, or maybe you've programmed something, or you've put something out there that just returns passive income, or you're a musician or whatever. There's lots of good ways to make passive income out there. Investing in real estate. So these two are not mutually exclusive. Why is this stream late? We're not late, man. You're late. Mar Champa, thank you so much for joining the community over there on Twitch, my good friend. I also want to thank 2Facto for joining over there on Twitch, Zach Podmore, Kevin Longley, and the one, the only Luciano Alexander. Thanks for joining us over on YouTube as well. So let's get into what we want to talk about. We've got quite a lot to talk about today. Okay. So I posted a really long, extensive update this morning in the premium, and I'm going to go over some of the highlights from that. So best place to start. Well, let's just start off on the daily, and we'll work our way down. So over here on the daily, we will go ahead and we're not going to print. We're not going to enable bar coloring because I think that that's slightly distracting, but we'll just point these things out. So we'll start with Minx, and let's double check our settings. All right, so we're going to switch this to 8. We're going to speed this up just a little bit. And when we do that, we actually, again, we talked about this. We did get the long signal on the prior candle. Let's also bring up the baseline so we have something to talk about. Switch that back from Forex to cryptocurrency. There we go. Okay, and we're going to be talking about that qualifying line. We're also going to be talking about the volatility expander. So I talked about this. I talked about this to the members this morning. I talked about this indicator, and I'm going to break it down a little bit today and just go over some of its nuance, but more so on the 4 hour when we get to the 4 hour. So we'll just start off on the daily. Anyways, and then we'll also look at the chart patterns, and we'll look at what everybody else is looking at, and we'll look at the classical analysis as well. But we're going to keep this very clean and talk about our indicators first. So Minx, as I talked about over on the second, did give a long signal. Now, I didn't take that long signal. In fact, I got stopped out of my short. Again, we took 50% of our profits on the short over here, and then price pulled back up, pushed me out at break even. That's fine. I was in a profitable trade, and that's fine. And I still remain hedged. I still did not buy back into Bitcoin with my USD. Now, I'm going to be watching for a specific thing to do that. I'll tell you what that is. Let me see. I got everything pulled open over here just fine. Okay, yes. Okay. Anyways, so what did we have yesterday, though? So yesterday is really what I want to talk about. And so I talked about this, specifically in relation to PTP. So the guys in the group, and I don't want to go into too much detail on stream because so people who are watching the stream who have not taken the course, who do not know the way that we do things in Kraken Crypto, I don't want them to get confused. I want to give them very clear information that they're going to be able to act off of. So anyways, when we have a indicator that confirms our trades, right? A filter, we call it a confirmer. You guys can call it whatever you like, but it's a filter and it acts as a confirmation signal. It lets you know that whatever signal that you're getting from your primary indicator, it confirms that, okay? And we're getting some nice bullish action on Bitcoin right now. Actually, ever since the last 4-hour close, which is exactly what we were watching for in the group. But we're going to break that down and tell you guys why. So we did go long. I went long, and I posted that signal last night on yesterday's candle close, on yesterday's daily close. And the reason why, so is a day late for the long trade. Now, interestingly enough, the default settings of Minx did not actually give us a long signal until today. But I digress. The sped up settings, so with the 8 as the primary length for Minx, which is what I'm currently using, that did give the signal one day earlier. And Wadatar Explosion on default settings here gave its own signal. I call this a powerful signal, right? So when you have a confirmation indicator or a confirmer that can give multiple types of signals, this works with your initiator as well, your primary entry indicator. But for me, the way that I have my trading system structured right now is my confirmer does triple duty, right? It lets me know if volume's good to go, so I don't have to use a traditional volume indicator because it's a pseudo volume indicator. It lets me know, so that's another filter. It lets me know when my primary trades are being confirmed. And it also can generate unique signals of its own, as long as everything else in my trading system is agreeing with what a primary signal would look like, with what a primary trade would look like, then I'm good to go. And Wadatar Explosion can do that in the form of a rising explosion level and then a column being printed above the explosion level and the dead zone, right? So there are, I've talked about this so much, man. So Wadatar Explosion is, oh shoot, I didn't draw for the X42, didn't I? My bad. Wow, my bad. I'm slipping. Let's go do that. Okay, yesterday's video was about the Bitcoin ETF being confirmed. Kind of, sort of, maybe, not really. And let's do that real quick. My bad. Choose a video. Don Camden, man, hook me up with the phone number of Bogdanov. Yeah, it's 555-555-4692. All right, yes. So just write that down and you can hit him up, man. Don't worry, Bogdanov. I got you, man. I'll never reveal your secret. Don Camden, man, congratulations, my good friend. Get a hold of me in the Discord and I will send you some cryptocurrency. Back over to Bitcoin. Anyway, so you guys went long on yesterday's candle close. Right at the end, and I'm going to kind of explain why too. There's just a whole lot to talk about, man. This is a really interesting kind of time in the chart, man. And I'm kind of fired up about this. So anyways, why though? What was the primary reason? Well, because Wadatar Explosion signaled a signal of its own, and the primary indicator was already still bullish, and we were above the baseline, and so everything was already gelled and congealed into what we want to see for a trade anyways. And that's what's really nice about using a powerful indicator in your strategy like Wadatar Explosion. I really haven't come across a lot of indicators that are better than Wadatar Explosion. I've seen, so for multiple use cases, right? So most Swiss Army knife indicators that I've found typically do not work that well. Indicators that attempt to do many things at once are typically inferior to one indicator that does one thing very well. But in the case of Wadatar Explosion, I find that it's just really, really good. It does everything that you want it to. It can measure volatility. It can let you know when you're good to go. It can confirm your trades. It can initiate your trades. In fact, one of the 4-hour strategies that we're testing right now, called the 4-hour WAE long only LSMA, long name, but that uses water tower explosion as the primary initiator, and it's got really, really good, amazing, really, really, really good backtesting results. So anyways, I digress. Here's a bad joke of the day. We've got a lot of jokes to go over. The IQ difference between protesters in Hong Kong right now using liquid nitrogen to revert tear gas into its harmless physical form, and Antifa protesters who cannot figure out how to burn an American flag with a lighter. Oh, yes, he just said it. Moving on. The congressional switchboard is 877 SOP. SOP. Oh, man. Oh, hey, I wanted to turn the music off. Sorry, my bad. Let's turn the tunes off while I'm talking about the charts. We'll bring the music back here in a little bit. Anyways. Okay. I'm going to make sure I'm going over everything correctly here. Okay, yeah. So, powerful signal or alternative signal, whatever you like to call it. I kind of like to call it a powerful signal from water tower explosion, giving a impulse trade to the upside yesterday. And again, predicated on the same thing that we talked about. Check me on the area code. It's one of the toll-free ones, though. What do I think about the Chaikin money flow indicator? I don't think it's great, but it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. It all depends on how you use it. I've never really, I've back tested it. I've never used it in an active strategy. But I mean, it's there to measure volatility and volume and act as another filter. So it's better than not using anything. But I think there are a lot of superior ones out there. Wendy, I just drew. I just drew and gave the money away. Don Candon won. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's pretty much it on the daily. As we sit right now, and we'll bring in the classical charts, and then we'll start going down the time frames and kind of flipping back between PTP and classical charts and where we sit in that. So as we sit right now, we had initial rejection from our qualifying line, i.e. the upper boundary of my volatility expander. And there's some specific nuance that we're going to put in with this volatility expander. And what that is typically, how do I put this? Let me actually just show you the volatility expander. So this is going to be a very similar concept to the Bollinger Bands, but on the daily and pretty much across all time frames here, works very, very well. Works very, very well on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And did I know that only clean-shaven bald heads have the most accurate information? That's bullish divergence right there. A little bit, yeah. Yeah. I'd like to think so, man. So Japan is flickering in the background due to them feeling the protest of their Hong Kong brethren. So anyways, when we cross and close the daily above the upper boundary of the volatility expander, we often have a better than not indication of entering into a trend. Now, there's multiple ways to use this. One way to utilize this is when you would scale into a larger position, and then you can use the cross and close back below it as your exit signal, for example. So again, this is very similar to a Bollinger Band strategy, but the way that it is set programmatically works better. I do not really like the way that Bollinger Band is programmed. I don't really think that it works very well. But this is something different, and I don't see people utilizing this structure in this way. So there is a lot of strategies that one can build around this. These levels work very well as dynamic resistance. These levels work very well for reversal trade initiation. These levels work very well for early exit signals. These levels work very well for scaling in, scaling out of position. So again, probably about 10 different realistic ways to utilize it. I've already got 2 strategies that backtest very well that utilize this. The other 4 active strategies that I'm currently testing this on to see what works well across all time frames have good results right now. And when I'm all done with this indicator, I'll publish it. But I just feel that it's time to start showing it on stream a little bit and look for those few other levels of confluence. So again, anyways, cross and close above that level would be pretty good to see. And what is that going to be confluent with? All right, so now we can get rid of that and we can bring up our classical lines. It's going to be confluent with crossing and closing above our daily bearish order block. It's going to be confluent with crossing and closing above the meme resistance line of the descending triangle that everybody is watching right now in crypto space. I feel like there's something that we can do to kind of make this a little bit easier to see. Let's do this. Let's do a solid line. And let's do I don't know, what color do you guys want to do? Like a light blue? Yeah, like a light blue would be fine. Let's go down here to our support level. And line, and what color was that? Something like that. There we go. Okay. I like that's a little bit better. Okay, so 2 structures there. We've got obviously the angle, the descending angle of the resistant trend line right there. And that's really what everybody's keeping their eyes on. And I would say that unlike what Onch said earlier, I would say that, listen, crypto Twitter and all the businesses, they're really businesses, right? Because we just see these tweets and we see these posts and we see all this nonsense about how, they're just irrationally bullish, right? We're going, it's all time high. We're in the bull season. There's no stopping it, blah, 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 blah. So you're always going to get that. I mean, you got that all 2018. You literally got that all 2018. So those people are just nonstop Bitcoin bullish propaganda. It doesn't matter whether price is going up, down, left, or right. I would say, though, that I have seen the sentiment of traders, the sentiment of analysts flip bearish. That's the trend that I've seen, especially with this big descending triangle. I would say that this, this meme is a bearish structure, right? So if you wanted to counter trade this, you'd be very bullish. If you wanted to trade right alongside with crypto Twitter, you would be like waiting for the opportunity to sell. And again, we do see that it worked well. And when these structures work well, that's when people are going to go back and look and say, well, duh, obviously, man, the best way to trade is chart patterns and Fibonacci and triangles and wishes and fishes. And it's not, because it doesn't have a statistical edge, because those are the same people that'll draw 15 million different triangles and lines. And the second that price bounces off one of their lines, that's when they'll be, I fucking told you. But when it blasts through 15 of them, they don't say anything. And that's the danger of drawing lines like that. But I do have to point it out because that's what everybody's looking at. And so I do have to say that the FOMO that would occur, I mean, the bullish initiation that one would see on a cross and close above that level. If you're talking about this chart pattern, that would be a invalidation or a breakout of a descending triangle. That would be a cross and close for me above 10,920. Well, really, you could say probably the lower level, 10,769. And again, you want to see that on the daily. You want to see that cross and close on the daily. But more importantly, there is a bearish block there. Okay, this is actually a bearish breaker right now. It's a bearish breaker. That level is between 10,769 and 10,920. We've talked about this for a few days. So we have reached up and tapped that on the daily. And this is where a lot of individuals wanted to initiate sells. A lot of people sold Bitcoin right around this level. Now, and after the daily close yesterday, we did see throughout the day a pullback to our 4-hour block right here that we've broken, and that is now a bullish breaker. It's a 4-hour bullish breaker. So you've got price pretty much pinned between 10,427 and 10,412 and that 10,769. And I really think that the close on the 4-hour time frame below either level is really going to be indicative of what you want to do. And in fact, for me, it is that 4-hour close below 10,427 that would be me exiting my long trade. I took Ethereum short last night as well. Just to hedge out. That way, whichever way that the trend decides to resolve itself into, I can scale out of one position, scale into the other, and be very comfortable with that. I like to do that, especially when I know, for example, that I'm entering to a trade at a level of resistance that a lot of people are watching on, because I know it's going to be difficult to overcome, but I know that if we do overcome that level, we're going to move up with a lot of momentum because a lot of people are going to get squeezed. So, does WADA use ADX calculations? It does not. Pekamo8, what's going on, man? Thank you very much. Where is the money supposed to come from to bring Bitcoin to an all-time high? Last time, so many new people came into crypto and got wrecked. This time, it's mostly only alt money pumping it. I don't really think so. I think that well, so this is what we do know. There is, and I don't want to say we know it, but the research that I've seen shows that the majority of Bitcoin is being bought with Tether, meaning that it is industry veterans who are largely responsible for the buying of Bitcoin, right? And a lot of people are going to say, well, that is clear proof that Bitfinex and Tether, they're pumping up the price of Bitcoin. And two conclusions could be drawn from that. Either they're gearing the entire industry up for a very large exit scam, or they are desperately trying to support the price so that they can incentivize newer individuals to come in. But I mean, to be honest, I don't think that argument. So I would propose that you look at it this way. Look at how much retail money is not yet in Bitcoin. Right? Look at how much retail money is not yet in Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is a new asset class, and there are very few people statistically who own Bitcoin throughout the world. So if that grows, then there's plenty of money to push us to all-time highs or greater, right? Now, whether we do or not doesn't really matter. In fact, I've talked about this for a long time. I think at some period in time, people are going to have to begin to understand that there's going to have to be a fair value price of Bitcoin. Now, what that is hotly contested, and I mean, not something that I really like to spend a whole lot of time thinking about. Wally, what's up, man? Welcome to the channel. Are we being baked like a Bakewell tart? Tether will kill us. Prove me wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't know, man. I don't know. More 24-hour volume on Tether than Bitcoin. And that just goes to show that, stable coins have a very large use case, especially in a realm where fiat to crypto is sticky and messy. I just don't like the way that Tether does it. If you want to know why I don't like the way that Tether does it, just go look at the chart of Leo. And every time I go look at the chart of Leo, I just, in the arms of the angels. It's not like you guys lost all your money by giving it all to Bitfinex. I mean, can't prop up a Ponzi scheme like that without selling. Anyways, so daily levels, classical analysis here. Good. So the movement here from a classical perspective would be to sell the resistance of the sell the resistance of the triangle, to look to see price to either short or look to see price scoot back down to the 9,469 level, 9,333 level, potentially a little bit higher, maybe the upper boundary of that 9,500, 9,400, upper to mid 9,400s, buy back into that area and just continue to play this range as price continues to consolidate and bounce around. Now, by applying order blocks to that, we get a little bit more specific nuance, because now we can see that, okay, great, that is a valid setup. But if we do end up crossing and closing above 10,920, you definitely want to be exiting your longs. The problem with that is that if that occurs, if we get above, probably on a 4-hour basis, 10,769, we have a high probability to move up very quickly because a lot of shorts are going to get squeezed. Of course, we have to realize that this area right here has not been yet tapped for liquidity. A lot of stops are going to be placed here. And of course, this is going to be the overall descending triangle meme that a lot of people are trying to sell into right now. So I think there's a high probability, or excuse me, there's a lot of potential here for shorts to get squeezed and for price to move up on good momentum, which is why I'd rather be on the long side of the trade until we close down below, because I don't think that price is going to reject as violently. I don't think it's going to reject as violently as it will be able to shoot up violently if we tap this liquidity and squeeze all these shorts. Now, whether or not we we end up closing above that level, or it's just a long wick, which on high volume, so a long wick on high volume would be a little bit of indicative, of momentum drying out and this just being a stop run, and the price is ultimately going to move to the downside, which would congrue with my weekly analysis actually. But anyways, I'm long. I'd rather be long right now and wait and see how this plays out. And again, by applying order blocks, we get a little bit more nuance to this, which will break down as we descend down to the 4-hour time frame, which is where that's going to become the most valid. So let's get rid of the lines. Let's go down to the 12-hour time frame, and we've got some interesting things coming in here on the 12-hour time frame. Now, we cannot take the current 12-hour candle into account because it's not closed yet. So here's what we do know. Let's go back in PTP mode and bring back our baseline. All right, so let's bring back our baseline. And actually, instead of the baseline, we'll just do the volatility expander, which is going to be the exact same thing as the baseline, but it's just going to constantly print those ATR bands above and below what we're doing. Now, here's what we notice. So the last time we got nicely above the upper ATR volatility band, we went on a nice little run. And when we crossed and closed back down inside the 12-hour ATR band, price consolidated, stayed below, and we were overall bearish structure. So now that we've crossed and closed above on the 12, we also have to realize that we've also gotten all bullish signals from our initiation system here on the 12-hour time frame. We got the original long signal on Minx right here on September the 2nd. It was confirmed, obviously, as we can see. We can bring that up. We did have a column. And again, you can debate whether or not you took this because we are right there at that dead zone. Typically, that's something I'll take. We're not dramatically below it. I mean, we're right there. So actually, we can see this is math. So on Wadatar Explosion, the dead zone was at 1602. And we were actually uptrend was below the dead zone on that candle. So potentially you took it, maybe you didn't. If you didn't take it, you got a significantly worse entry. But again, that doesn't matter. I don't mean that to point out like, oh, of course, always cheat against the system. Whatever your rules are, comport to your rules. And again, it's very easy to see with your data window over here. Whether or not a indicator is actually above or below. There's no subjectivity required. The numbers are printed when the candle is closed. The numbers are locked in. They're always there. They don't repaint. But anyways, on the 12-hour time frame, we did get that secondary signal, that powerful signal from Wadatar Explosion over here on this column right here, on this candle right here, which would be the close of the open of the 3rd of September's daily candle. Minx was still bullish at that point in time. We were above the baseline. Everything was good. Time transformation has not given us a reversal sell signal on the 12-hour time frame. And again, we haven't closed underneath the volatility, the upper boundary of volatility yet. So that's all quite bullish. That all looks quite well. Now we did get a 12-hour take profit long signal right here on the 12-hour time frame. So potentially either taking all of your profits or scaling out. But either way, that wouldn't be too bad either. Again, not the setup that I have because I am taking this on the daily and using the daily setup. The 12-hour though would have already given you a very nice setup, and the 12-hour would essentially be wait to see what happens here at daily resistance. Again, the reason why I don't really like that is because I think there's a lot of opportunity on this short squeeze. I think price is likely to move up pretty quickly with a lot of momentum. So I don't really think the daily close is going to give you the opportunity to get out of your trade without a lot of drawdown. And I also don't think that the daily close, the 12-hour close, is going to be able to get you into a new long without price being too high. So because of that, I prefer the setup that I currently have. But that's about all we have. We had the take profit long signal above the volatility expander, which is valid. And everything's still bullish on Wadatar Explosion. No sell signal yet from time transformation. Again, Minx being very sensitive. And if you're using, now what's interesting here is if we change Minx to the less sensitive signals, then we still get that take profit long signal because we have gone above the overbought level and are coming back down the overbought level. But potentially you can only scale out half of your position. Of course, you should have already probably taken, it depends on where you were. It depends on where you were. Let's go see Quadrigo ATR, where we would have taken profit on this 12-hour setup. So if you took it here, you would have been out 50% here. And if you ended up taking it here, then you would have been out 50% here. So totally fine. This would have got you out pretty much right, just a little bit below TP1. Honestly, not a whole lot of profit opportunity there on the 12-hour time frame. That's fine. Let's actually see. Yeah, about 1.21, and then about 3.5% on 50% of your position. So again, kind of the rough average between there, about 2.5% profit on that movement. Not terrible, not bad, consistent. Take it easy, Spectre. Good to see you, man. The dead zone is this. The dead zone is this band of little blue dots, and it might be difficult to see it on stream. It's right here. But you can see it very visibly when using the indicator for yourself. And you guys can, and again, this indicator, Watertower Explosion, you guys can go use this. It's go to tv.krakencryptocurrency.com and you can add it to your chart, or just open up your indicator chart, indicator tab, and search for Kraken. And all of our indicators are going to come up right here, and it's Watertower Explosion. In fact, I just did a big code update yesterday. I forgot to mention that. I did 2 code updates yesterday. So I made an upgrade to Watertower Explosion. I actually made the dead zone an input, and I also fixed the signal printing. So there was a contingent signal that was not being printed appropriately. Not that you can't interpret the indicator. The indicator worked fine, but I'm talking about just kind of the add-on for newer traders, like where it colors the bars and where it shows these signals so that you can see like, oh, hey, there's something happening. Of course, if you read the documentation that goes with the indicator, or you watch my Trading Crypto 101 video on it, then you'll understand how to trade it. You won't need those, but they're there. They're training wheels for you guys. So I fixed that. And then on Minx, I fixed same issue, just an error with signal printing, right? Not how the indicator works, but just with signal printing for newer traders. So I fixed all that. What I'm going to be doing now is there is an indicator called Defiance that I had wanted to publish, And here I can actually make it, let's get the dead zone. I'll actually make this like white. Maybe that'll make it a little easier to see. And I could do like an area. I don't really like that, but maybe, yeah, I think you can see it a little bit better now. Sounds like you said I did 2 coats of paint yesterday, and I was looking for a differently colored USS Enterprise. Okay, so that's about it. That's about it on the 12-hour. On the 12-hour. We've got Minx crossing back into the static line into the static zone on today's candle close. What that means is, again, on the 12-hour time frame, it's telling you maybe you should exit your position. This is a good opportunity to step out of your long trade, take profit, especially if you got in here on the close above the baseline and the original long signal, and just be patient and wait for the next signal. Because again, we are at daily resistance, so we've got a lot going on. We're at the volatility expander. We're at the upper ATR band off the baseline. We are at that meme level of support and resistance. We're at the top of the descending triangle. We're at the daily order block. So again, a lot of caution coming in there. Now, let's go down to the time frame that I'm keeping my eye on, and got a lot of the guys in the group excited because we're in profit right now in the long. And this is why, because let's go to the 4-hour time frame. And this is what we were watching on the 4-hour time frame. And on the 4-hour time frame. Whoa, how did that happen? Why did that happen? That's weird. Settle down, Aunt Jemima. It's like that sudden movement burst the exposure level. Let's go to there we go. Stop it. What are you doing, camera? There. That's weird, man. Not exactly how I like it. Now it's not crisp anymore, man. It's not as crisp as I like it. Yeah, that's really not good either. I'll mess with it after the stream. You guys are just going to have to put up with it. I'm sorry. Coming to you live from heaven right now. There we go. We'll just stay a little overexposed. Anywho. Freaking camera just freaked out for a second. I'm getting hacked, man. Okay, so what kind of chair do I have? An uncomfortable one, to be honest with you. You know, it is a gaming chair, and actually, I'm gonna be getting rid of this chair hopefully tomorrow. I have a chair coming tomorrow, and my new keyboard probably won't get here until Friday. I got a new keyboard coming on Friday. But I don't really like this chair. It's you know, it's not too bad for gaming. But that's like if I'm gonna be like, yo, laid back, God of War, baby, you know, and for, you know, sitting here and coding and trading, I don't really like it. So I've just got a pretty comfy office chair coming in, one that Scott recommended, actually. Is that a water tower explosion behind you, or are you just happy to see me? What's up, baby? I'll ask about the new chair then. Well, thank you, Andrew. Okay, back to the chart. I wanted to talk about the 4-hour here on Coinbase. Couple good things here. Now the 4-hour obviously got us into the trade. Again, we had quite a bit of like chop and pop here. What's nice is that the 4-hour did not get us into a potential long trade until here. Got faked out once here. Got faked out once here, but still could have stayed in there. And got us in at a really good entry. Otherwise, the secondary entry would have come from, and again, once we come down here below the 12, we do need to boost up. Yeah, it would have been the continuation long right here, right? On this candle, we actually get the primary signal from Minx, baseline confirms, time transformation confirms, and water tower explosion not only confirms, but it gives us a powerful signal of our own. And excuse me, I didn't mean to say primary signal with Minx. I meant a continuation signal on Minx. Anyways, letting us ride that all the way up. Now, again, when we're talking about this volatility expander, this ATR band, we close below the ATR band right here. And if you were just following that, listen, there's no shame in that. I know at least 7 guys in the group, probably closer to 17, but at least 7 guys who specifically showed me that is exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. Or they ended up taking profit here off the Minx signal right here, and the time transformation sell signal. Sakari, I don't want to mispronounce that. Sakari Ali, thank you so much. I highly appreciate that. What chair am I getting? It is excuse me. It is this chair right here. It's nothing like crazy. You guys don't want to see the chair that I had wanted to get. It was this one. It was this one. And I told Scott, I'm like, hey man, I think this chair looks cool. And he's like, okay, grandma's boy. And he did the, you know, how did he see me? Anyways. But anyways, what I was watching for, of course, I'm looking at the 4-hour to help me out, give a little bit of guidance on my daily time frame setup, because the daily time frame setup already gave me a good initiation signal, with Minx already being bullish and water tower explosion saying, hey man, go ahead. And then kind of counter trading everybody that's trying to sell into the meme descending triangle, knowing that we're right at an order block. There's a whole lot of stops there. So it's just a great opportunity for volatility to the upside, right? But anyways, you can't ignore what's going on. So on the 4-hour time frame, I'm looking, we came down to the baseline. So peaked and the daily closed right here. So this is right where I entered my long. And then price drifted down to the 4-hour baseline, closed below the upper boundary of volatility, hit the baseline, and then just skyrocketed. And I said, all right, guys, listen, here's what I'm watching. If we close below the 4-hour baseline, I'm going to take half out of my long, still going to hold on to half, but I'm going to add to my short. So basically, I'm just going to completely hedge up. So if price goes down, I don't really lose any money. And if price goes up, I really don't make any money. And that's kind of how I like to do things. I like to shift around and put myself in the position to make money rather than just go all whole hog, right? But anyways, price closed nicely above the 4-hour baseline. And as soon as we did that, so we'll kind of wait here and see. Kind of the early warning sign would be closing back below that upper boundary of volatility. Obviously, still really waiting to close below the 4-hour baseline. That's going to be the all she wrote. So we're about to get the 4-hour continuation long signal, actually, if we can get back above now. Probably not going to get it today. We may or may not see really any exciting things right now. All we're seeing right now is a lower high on this time frame. We still only have a lower high on this time frame. And again, kind of the definitive signal comes with closing below the 4-hour baseline, which would be congruent about taking out this level of support here. And then really, all she wrote would be if we close below that lower boundary of volatility coming at 10,272. So that's about it. And again, we have to look at kind of the bearish signs that we see here, but also some bullish reversal signs too. So anyways, the 4 hour gave us multiple take profit signals off the continuation long. We got a take profit long signal here. We got a take profit long signal here. On the exact same candle, we got a time transformation reversal sell signal. We also got one right here at the very top of the market. So 4 hour time transformation calling a very nice sell as we do with bearish regular divergence. As you can see that it plots right there, picks up that regular bearish divergence. On this candle, it picks up the bearish divergence and then picks up the sell signal on this candle. But let's look at what Minx is doing right now. Minx is bottoming above zero, as is time transformation for the guys in the group who have watched the video on wave theory and the Fisher transform. You guys know what that means. That's often a bullish sign. We also, after printing one brief red candle, of course, Water explosion told you to get out of the trade right here. So right here would have been out of your water long. So if you'd gone long on this candle right here, you would have rode this trade all the way to right here, just utilizing Water explosion. That's when you would have got out on this candle close. But we flipped back bullish. Now, we don't have a rising explosion level yet. Things are still curling down, so we don't have that powerful 4 hour signal. Does that not mean we can't get continuation? No, it does not, but kind of just eyes peeled. That's what we're watching for. So anyways, on the 4 hour time frame, waiting for that close below. Also, really looking to pierce above this upper boundary of volatility and really see these stops get taken out above the order block. Other than that, if you were trying to trade the reversal, you've got that order block at 10,769, 10,920 that you can sell into. Again, I really wouldn't want to see a second test of that. If I was a bear, that would really be unpleasant for me to see for the bear scenario, to see multiple tests of that resistance order block, because the more times that you see them get tested, the more often they are to get taken out. And the daily still looks good. The daily still looks healthy. The 12 hour still looks healthy, and the 4 hour, basically is reset. The 4 hours basically reset. So we've come all the way down. We've tracked, we've gone the whole boundary up, the whole boundary down on Minx. We've gone the whole boundary up, the whole boundary down on Water explosion. And now we just need to reset for a little bit. So what's likely here? Maybe some consolidation at this top line before the market really figures out if we're going to blast upwards or if we're going to break and close below. And what's really, awesome and unique about this is that baseline, that 4 hour baseline, is the bullish breaker. That's the 4 hour bullish breaker, right? It's the 4 hour bullish breaker. This is where we had good confluence initiating our shorts over here. And this is also good confluence for initiating the long trades over here. Okay. I hope poor Sally isn't in the room listening to you cheat on her with other chairs. Nope, she is in the living room where she belongs. Dark Rico, a poll, names of new chairs. Yeah, let's take a look at that chair, guys. What do you think I should name her? Let's bring it back. And we're about to go to break. And when we come back, we're going to go over the news. And we're going to look at what you guys want to look at. What do you guys think? Sturdy, dependable, a little stylish, got that mesh backing, supported by air. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. Olga? I like that name. Let me know what you guys think. I'll let you guys name the new chair. Stumpy? No. Apollo 11 Moon Mission Pilot Chair. Wheelie McCity Bench. Here's my opening bid for the official Phase 2 Cracking Cryptocurrency Gaming Chair. Learn, earn, and don't get burned. Thanks so much, Wally, for the $20, man. You are, as always, absolutely awesome and one of my favorite people on the internet. Shout out to you and Gunbot University, man. Thank you so much for the continued support. My good man. Let's get some hype for Wally, guys. Make sure to give him a big thank you. Franz War, Sasha, Bumquisha. Bumquisha. I don't know if I kind of like that Bumquisha. I'm not going to lie. Call her Bitsy. Okay. I'm going to have to write down these names. I'll write down these names and we'll do a poll. We'll do a poll, and whoever is the winner, right? So that's the way we'll do it. Whoever suggests a name, I'll open up a poll where everybody can go and vote, and they'll vote on the best name. And I'm going to actually open up a text document right now. Here we go. Okay. And whoever wins. So I'm going to take down all the names you guys recommend, create a poll. Everybody can go there and vote, okay? But it'll also have who suggested the name too, right? And so whoever wins, not only will I call the chair that, but I'll also give that person $25 in Bitcoin, okay? Let's have some fun. I will take Wally's donation and I will add to it. Ooh, Kadrega? Kind of like that. Sounds like something like out of Game of Thrones. Keep them coming, guys. Kendi says I should name it George. No, I'm sorry, sir. Male names are disqualified. I don't want to be sitting on a man all day long. Mish Lichter says Throne of Games. I kind of like that. Mesh L. Witty repartee. Dark Lord Sith. All right, Wally. Oh, from the Looney Tunes Abominable Snowman. Wendy Brown Eye, I got your Wheelie McCity bench. Yep. Yeah, I get it. Sit. Yeah. Elvira. Aw, but she was so good looking back in the day. Oh, Ewan Vander R, the bit chair. Oh, that's so good. Jeff Handsome, Riley Reed. Hey, you know, maybe one of these days. When was now? I'm going to need you to select between Wada Chair or Elvira, bro. Name it Skywalker. All right. I will name him George, and I will love him and squeeze him and caress him. Yeah. Nifkins. Lucky ass. Okay, yeah. Well, if its name was Riley Reed, I guess I would have the lucky ass. Natoshi. Wendy Brown Eye, I'm going to need you to select between Wheelie McCity bench and Nitoshi. And Cherie. Sit Toshi is pretty good. Cadrega is chair in an old dialect near Milano. Gotcha. Black Betty Bambalam. The Iron Chair. Crypto Thronius. That's a good one. That's a good one, bro. Wendy, you just keep saying new ones. Zelda. Cracking Coin. Misses. Yeah, that's pretty simple, huh? Elvira is well padded, at least. Big Chungus. Stop. Name the chair Keister Feaster. Zelda Nakamura. When does the TA start? We've been at this for an hour, so you'll have to excuse us having some fun, guys. We're here. We're here every single day, Bubbles. Got to build a community. Lacey Lucy. Venom. All right. Hey, Scott, are you here? Because I got everything up to Winston Murray's Trade of Thrones. You choose City McSpenny. I got everything up to there, man. So we got to go to break. And so if you could take everything starting with one fly VW Sita Atar. So guys, come up with some more chair names while we go to break real quick. When we come back, we're going to break down current events. And we'll keep in touch with Bitcoin as well. But we already talked about the setup that we're currently in, currently long. Smoke break. We don't smoke, but we do other things. All right, guys. Hey, we're going to go to break. Yeah, we're going to go to break, guys. When we come back, we're going to do some amazing things. Make sure to hit the like button if you guys haven't already. There is a notification bell there if you guys want to be notified when we go live, because, you know, notifications don't seem to work because YouTube hates cryptocurrency and good content creators. So help a brother out, guys. Anyways, we'll be right back. Do not go anywhere. Hi. So, ironically enough, I go outside, and what's sitting on my back porch? Yeah, buddy. We got this going. There was a couple other boxes over there. I'm not even sure what's in those boxes, but hopefully not anthrax. But yeah, so we're gonna get this chair competition going faster than we thought, guys. So we're gonna get that competition hopefully up today. We'll definitely have information for you guys for tomorrow's live stream. So let's get this out of the way because we've got some analysis to do. All right. What's up? You guys ready for this? Back to the charts. All right. Back in Osaka, Japan. Green screen is still not. There it is. The Black Widow. This is churned into a chair building stream. Hey, you know. You got to diversify sometimes, man. Oh, what do we got? We got a whole lot. We got the Siddha Attar. Synchronicity. My face. Wave Rider. Crypto Chairman. Hey, Wally with the $2. Hey, that's great, man. Ben Shapiro. Aha! I'm a huge Ben Shapiro fan. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. We've got that might be the best one I've heard yet, man. The Dome Throne. The Dome Throne. Still, I think that Ben Shapiro, that might be my favorite one yet. That might be my favorite one yet. Might have to throw the competition for Ben Shapiro. Hey man, is it I gotta know. I gotta know if it's is it all the altcoin gains that make you that witty, or is that just natural for you, man? Is that just natural? Because you're a smart guy. All right, Anthony Cavallo. Hey, thanks so much for the $10, my good friend. He says, Justin, how many exit indicators do I rely on before I bounce out of a trade? Do I rely on just one, or do I look for confluence between a couple indicators? Thank you. That's a great question, man. So personally, I have one primary exit indicator, and then I have two early exit situations as well. Okay, I have two early exit situations. So early exit situation one is going to be Wadatar printing a column below the explosion level. Exit situation two Exit situation two is going to be crossing and closing below the baseline on whatever time frame that I'm taking a trade. And then my primary exit indicator is going to be time transformation printing a sell signal. I think that's the best way to go about doing it, because in all back testing that I've ever done, I found that the more it's really the exit that locks in your profit. It's money management and when you exit the trade, right? Entering a trade, as long as you're diligent with your approach and consistent with your approach on when to initiate a trade, you're going to find that there are a lot of good indicators out there, and all of them are going to get you into a trend in roughly the same spot. The difference, what really differentiates a very good entry indicator, or an initiator as we call them, and a bad one is consistency. It's consistency and speed, right? So you want something that is sensitive enough to get you in early so that you have more of an edge for the other trend following traders. But you don't want something that is so sensitive that it is getting you into terrible trades. And often what you will find is that you often want to steer a little bit on the side of too sensitive, because you can counteract that with filters, with your filtration system, right? With your trade filtering system. And that's going to come in the form of your volatility filter, and that's going to come in the form of your confirmation filter. And then as well as your baseline, and whichever way you want to use it. I know guys that don't use the baseline. I know guys that do use the baseline. That's kind of, I guess, the most heated topic in PTP is probably baseline yay or nay, right? Baseline yay or nay, because the baseline, and again, it all comes down to consistency. So I think that's the best way to go about doing it. I think that the best way to start is to have more exit indicators, but because I find that newer traders, the most common problem is going to be they don't know when to exit a trade, right? They don't know when to exit a trade. They want to hold on to a losing trade, or they want to be kind of consumed with greed and think that a trade is going to continue to go up, and they don't just want to exit and be satisfied with a good, successful, profitable trade. So I think that the best way to go about doing it is, again, having the primary indicator that's going to tell you to get out of a trade, and then having at least one early exit scenario. And that's usually going to be if your primary indicator, if what got you into the trade turns against you and gives you a converse trade, right? Problem with that is on the daily, again, it comes down to sensitivity, and all this gets really revealed in backtesting. This all gets really revealed in backtesting when you're going through and putting in the work to construct what you're doing. But that's how I do it. There are some guys in the group that use three. I have used three exit systems simultaneously. Some of the newer systems that we're building out, some of the newer modeling that we're doing does have three. Some have four. Because it is when you exit a trade that really matters when you're going to lock in that P&L. But at least two, one primary and one backup, I think is the best way to go about doing it, because those really act as a filter against your own worst impulses, right? And they help you lock in a profitable trade, right? Great question, man. Great question. And thank you so much for the $10 donation, my friend. I highly appreciate it. Can we get back to the Crypto Chair Talk podcast, please? No, Kendi. I don't think we should name it the Fart Afflector. Wheel of Fortune. Figure out a flash crash predictor and take it in, LOL. So what you usually want to do is just find your favorite crypto Twitter trader, and every time they say they buy in, go short. That's the flash crash predictor. It's the flash crash predictor. Whenever CZ tweets that you shouldn't short BNB, that's generally a good flash crash predictor. Okay, so we've got so much to cover, guys. So much to cover, and I want to turn our attention to Depressing news of the day. Depressing news of the day. So in that vein, guys, you guys know what time it is. It is time for...
And now, the news you trust, the stories you need to hear. Because in the day and age when we get our news sources from YouTube and Twitter, let's listen to the guy with the good microphone and the nice-looking studio.
Okay, so 15 Chinese citizens have been arrested. Let's scroll this down a little bit. At least 15 Chinese citizens have been arrested in a scheme to bribe internet cafe administrators, install malware, and remotely access and mine cryptocurrency on their machines. An estimated 14 million, that's Millie with an M, dollars in cryptocurrency was mined in this operation, which involved bribing over 9,000 internet cafe administrators who went on to cooperate in the scheme by infecting their own systems with a Trojan, turning this collective of rogue cafe machines into a de facto mining network operated remotely. Now, a tip in late 2018 led the local security bureau to discover the Trojan software being used to mine crypto remotely, and further investigation led authorities to the origin of the malware, a network technology company in Zhangzhou City. This company did advertise as a value-added service in networking to the public, but privately, of course, engaged in operation of an illegal mining business from June 2017 to July 2019. Now, these guys used bribery to assemble a network of 9,000 corrupt network technicians, and they were responsible for spreading the malware to systems under their administration. About $3 million in commissions were paid out to those network admins, while the scheme is said to have made, as I said, about $14 million for the illegal operation. Everybody on these internet cafes is like, man, why is my Fortnite so slow? Yes, give me the crypto. Just goes to show, guys, when it comes to the realm of IT, you should definitely learn a little bit of about how to manage your own network. And again, good help's hard to find, guys, but outsourcing to these kind of big third-party network administrators, to these server admin services, not good, man, not good. Because again, we have to assume that it's not the people that actually ran the cafes, it's the people that they were outsourcing to, right, for the network administration, unfortunately. So... oh, man. Okay, next story. Bitcoin gaps on CME looking bearish weeks away from Back's launch. Oh, my goodness. We've got a news article that's saying Bitcoin's price is bearish. You know what that means. The large rally in Bitcoin's spot price immediately after the CME close on Friday appears to have led to a substantial gap on the futures market, with many now speculating that we will have to fill this gap by way of a retracement to sub 10,000. Now, the most recent positions reported from the CME reveal that the number of institutional traders listed as non-commercial hold significantly more short contracts than long, at 3,470 short contracts to 2,285. So it could be said from this that the institutional outlook is therefore bearish. But we have to remember that information is from last Tuesday. That is when the Quandl report is put out every Tuesday. So we actually don't have the new positions to the best of my knowledge. Let's go find out. We can find out by going to bookmarks tab. Somewhere around here, maybe. Picker. Now, I think that BitGer has not been updating their stuff lately, but we'll see if their Quandl pull in. Yeah, this says updated as of the 5th of May. So we want, I've got a link to it somewhere. We want Quandl. CME open interest. Let's just go to Quandl. Bitcoin. Somebody's got the link to it. That would help. Yeah, I know you use cookies. Gosh darn. Let's just go, let's search for Bitcoin CME. Nah, this isn't what I want. Yeah, the commitment of traders report. Actually, that's what I want. I want commitment of traders. CME Bitcoin commitment of traders. There we go. Aw. Did they change it? They used to just be you scroll through and download the report. Let's see if we can just do it in this format, actually. Because I know Bennett, COT, Bennett's 9, Bitcoin COT, commitment of traders on the CME. There we go. Updated. You can see when the latest push was. 27th of August, yeah. So we don't have the new report. We don't have the new report. The last change came in on the 27th of August. So this is still last week's commitment of traders. Yeah, 26th, 27th of August. Still last week's. And as of that time, yeah, we had significantly more open interest, 57.1% to 34.8% open interest held long short. And if we look, institutional trader net, professional trader net, and retail trader net. Yep, so we see that retail is long, and we see that institutional and professional is short. I don't think that's going to change dramatically. These individuals do not change their positions like that willy-nilly. But yeah, this is bearish. The commitment of traders report would reflect bearish because we're not going to see a massive shift in this open interest rise. As far as shifting from long to short, we can see that we went a little bit longer over here, a little bit longer over here. And overall, they've been pretty short. But the other thing to realize about this as well is that a lot of people try to trade directly off of this. And the problem with that is that you guys don't understand how complicated these funds positions are. Or most people don't. They don't really care about the price of Bitcoin. They're just using it as a hedge. So, looking into that data a little bit. Dispelling some bullshit, if you will. Some disgruntled teenage PUBG guy tipped off the feds. Wave Rider for the win. Q Pasta on the gaps. Let's take a lookie. No truth in advertising, man. Adam says, hey, Justin, what time frame do you think Wadatar gives the fewest false signals? And how do you like the MACD indicator? I mean, it all just depends on what time frame you're trading on. It all depends on how you tune Wadatar to the time frame that you're trading. I think that the daily time frame is the best for people to start off with because you are going to get the fewest false signals on there. You know, the base rule is the lower you go as far as time frame, the more signals that you're going to get. Therefore, the higher preponderance of false signals that you're going to get because you can't find an indicator with 100% strike rate. But how do I like the MACD indicator? The MACD is pretty good, man. The MACD is pretty good. It's not the best, but setting $1 in front of the TV. In other news, let's talk about BitMEX congratulating Binance on plagiarizing its futures platform documentation. So it would appear that Binance in its rush to debut their crypto-based futures and options trading platform, copied some of their documentation word for word from BitMEX's own such notes. Now, 2 days ago, Binance launched their Battle of the Binance Futures project, which introduced the test nets for these futures trading platforms. Now, while doing so, Binance also set up a page to provide additional information to traders, in this case, a straight copy pasta of BitMEX's own write-up on the mechanism of auto deleveraging operations. Writing via Twitter earlier today, BitMEX official quipped that they enjoyed reading Binance's ADL documentation as much as BitMEX enjoyed writing it. CZ did apologize via Twitter, promised to remedy the matter right away, and attempted to laugh off the mistake. The community, of course, wasted no time in roasting CZ and Binance on Twitter with a variety of memes poking fun at the debacle, making the rounds today. Obviously, this one right here. CZ cheating off of Arthur Hayes in class. Here's the BitMEX tweet. Congrats on the testnet futures launch, Binance. Glad to see you enjoyed reading our documentation as much as we enjoyed writing it. And then there's screenshots where they're left by left. Here's the comparison. Binance and BitMEX right here, pretty much word for word. So, good stuff, Binance. CZ really holding it down, man. Funds are Safu. Do I think this is how Bitcoin will be used by backed investors as a hedge instead of a long-term investment, as it's still speculative? It's significantly different because backed is physically delivered, meaning you have to take physical custody of the asset, whereas the CME is pretty renowned for, as a cash settled futures platform, they're renowned for utilizing those. I don't want to say to manipulate the market. There is that, though. There is that massive speculation. But it's different. It is extremely more speculative. Cash settled futures are extremely more speculative because they allow somebody that is just holding cash to speculate in any market that they want. Whereas when you come into physically delivered, you actually have to take custody over the asset. And it becomes much more difficult to move fluidly from cash to, or from your asset to cash, right? It's not impossible. It's not hard. Liquidity's there, but it's a step that most speculators don't want to take. So that's why cash settled futures are very attractive for institutional investors looking to wind up a position in a complicated hedge, right? And we have to understand that the way that quants are developing risk profiles right now, risk assessment profiles, you have positions on top of positions on top of positions on top of positions, and unwinding a position is often a complicated thing. That's why you don't see big moves in these long, complicated, long drawn out hedges. And they often move months in advance of any significant market move. Will I do a course on scaling? I do have a 2-hour long video on it in the premium webinar section. Yeah. You just wait, Andrew. The Oscar prophecy will come soon. Markets are slow today. What are you talking about? Just today, we went, it's slow. I guess maybe it's slow for Bitcoin. We went down 2% and then up 3%. That's just over the last 8 hours. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's like 6 good trades today, man. I think that backed will be true price discovery for Bitcoin's price. Yes, I think that backed will become the standard of what Bitcoin's price is eventually. Ideally, if it gets the liquidity that it needs. But that's where I would look. Yeah, it's going to be the most regulated exchange out there. So, guys, running your Bitcoin miners in America? Maybe not for long. A United States Senate subcommittee hearing yesterday explored the topic of human trafficking and its intersection with the financial system. In a written testimony, David Murray, who is the vice president for product development and services at Financial Integrity Network, recommended that Congress create a new class of regulated financial institutions known as virtual asset transaction validators. better known as miners in the crypto space. Murray argued that miners such as those on the Bitcoin network should face full banking-style regulations with participation as a validator to be carefully governed, along with well-designed programs for vetting the issuers, exchangers, and custodians that they serve. Murray went on to argue that Bitcoin in particular exacerbates the problems of human trafficking, and it therefore should fall under the jurisdiction of the Bank Secrecy Act. Okay, so how do we put this? So I don't want to just say, well, fuck this dude. It just goes to show. So let's just put it this way, man. Let's just put it this way. The biggest theft in human history has come from the centralization of the monetary supply control into the hands of banks, right? Fractional reserve banking has absolutely destabilized our economy, removed a safe store of value that could contribute to global stability politically and socially, as well as domestically. It has robbed the middle class of all of their purchasing power and savings. It has inflated the currency to an absolutely ridiculous level, which has inflamed global tensions, promulgated proxy wars all over the world. Again, my main concern here is coming from a lower class family myself. It has absolutely destabilized American society and societies of other developed countries as well. Because when people are forced to speculate in the markets against their will, otherwise their savings are robbed by inflation, when people are forced to work 2 or 3 jobs because their purchasing power is being eroded by the decisions of the central bank, when people are forced to do all of that, they focus less on their families. And when people focus less on their families, values and morals and ethics decay. And it's the exact same thing that we've seen with the collapse of civilizations around the world. Government gets control of the monetary supply. They inflate the currency. They initiate wars. And the populace at home suffers. And the virtuous society is slowly eroded away as people are consumed with the markets and with commerce. And values decay. And society crumbles. Once your economy begins collapsing, once your purchasing power for your middle class collapses, then you just naturally see ethics and values begin to erode as well. And once those erode, you lose patriotism, you lose nationalism, you lose pride in your country, you lose pride in your family, you lose, and that's what holds up a country. So many people want to say that it's all economics. It's not. It's morals and ethics and family. That's what holds up countries. That is why they called the individuals who fought in World War II the greatest generation. Those individuals went off to war and fought and died for global security and global stability and peace in the world. And, it's a significantly different society now. We have a significantly different youth, right? So I do not want to downplay the horrific reality of human trafficking, right? It is a reality, right? There is human trafficking. And I would argue that is a byproduct, again, of this destabilizing effect that we see of the monetary policy of the central banks worldwide. Because as they have increased what they do, we've seen a lot of bad stuff come out of that. Again, rooted largely in the erosion of values and ethics around the world. But I will say this. I don't think that this is a valid solution. I do not think that, again, we know for a fact that the largest currency utilized in the world today for money laundering, for human trafficking, for illegal drug trafficking, for illegal weapon sales is the United States dollar. And more crime is committed by banks, bank to bank, than it is by actual criminals, as far as money laundering goes. So trying to require regulation for miners is not only counterproductive and not really effective. You're solving a problem that doesn't exist. Spoon Power 23 says, facts, no machine. You're a real one. Much love, brother, man. Thank you very much, man. Spoon, highly appreciative, my man. Thank you. You know, it's always tricky when I go out there and talk about my personal feelings and beliefs, but highly appreciated, man. Here's looking at you, man. Thank you so much for the support, man. Let's get some love for Spoon in the chat, guys. So it's counterproductive. And it also, I mean, you know, without stating the obvious, but let's state the obvious. The point here is removing the power of the central banks and instituting an actual hard currency against government manipulation and against this absolutely destabilizing effect of inflation. And that's with having a hard currency, right? So I think there's a lot of difficulties with gold right now in instituting that, but gold is also a good valid backup. And I can see some good interplays between gold, precious metals, and cryptocurrency. But again, cryptocurrency is the better technology, and humans over time adopt the better technology as they move forward. So this is stupid. And, you know, if the United States passes this law, just another reason for me to move on over to Portugal, man. You're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right, dances reluctantly. And again, I've said this, let me state this. I'm bullish on humanity. I think that we have the power to solve any problem that we deal with. I think that we can figure out environmental problems. I think that we can figure out climate change. I think that we can figure out this central bank fiasco that we've gotten ourselves into over the last, 400 years. I think we can figure this all out, right? Okay. We talk about, I want to kind of want to reference Elon Musk. So Elon Musk dropped a bombshell the other day. I don't know if you guys saw this. Let's pull this up. Let's go back over to the regular scene. So Elon Musk dropped a bit of a bombshell the other day, which I thought was really interesting. I don't know if you guys watched this, but Elon Musk, what's top search result? Elon Musk girlfriend. Who is Elon Musk dating? A guide to all the girlfriends he has dated or married. All right, let's go. Picks her. It didn't happen. Tallulah Riley. Amber Heard. You dog. Amber Grimes. Right on. What a beast, dude. Anyways, moving on. Elon Musk, Area 59. Here we go. So Elon Musk says SpaceX has Area 59 with tech 8 times better than Area 51. And he says this was in this panel. This is at the World Artificial Intelligence Conference in Shanghai later. Okay, so he said, so Elon Musk said, quote, there are people out there who think we have found aliens. Trust me, I would know. We have not. People ask me if I have been to Area 51. Okay, please. SpaceX actually has Area 59, and it's 8 better than Area 51. This isn't the article that I wanted to reference. That one was... but anyways, it was referencing the fact that, humans have not been able to confirm the existence of extraterrestrials. And the reason why, what is it? The Planck theory? Oh, I'm thinking the Planck constant. What is that? What's that theory? Theory that we haven't found aliens because civilizations die before developing interstellar travel. What's that called? No. Right, here we go. No, it's not the rare earth. The Fermi paradox. There it is. Yeah, the Fermi paradox. That's right. So I think that's right. All right, the Fermi paradox is the apparent contradiction between the lack of evidence for extraterrestrial civilization elsewhere in the Milky Way galaxy and high estimates of their probability, such as those that result from optimistic choices of parameters in the Drake equation. So I don't know if this is a direct, if it's a direct answer. I think this is an answer to the Fermi paradox, but it's that the reason that we have not developed, that we haven't found evidence of extraterrestrial life is because it is more likely than not that human civilizations or that all intelligent civilizations naturally develop warfare and conquest and end up killing themselves either through environmental contamination or mass catastrophe or extinction level events or warfare or, again, lots of things that humans bring about before they are actually able to develop the technology necessary to leave their own solar system. So that's a very negative take on life. And again, I don't take that. Again, I'm not a conspiracy nut, right? I think that it's very unlikely that we actually have found extraterrestrial life. I think that if I would really like to believe that there is some X-Files style government conspiracy that is running on in the background. It's just my hypothesis is if that is real, if that was actually happening, then things would seem to make a whole lot more sense, right? They would seem to make a whole lot more sense. I think that humans, most of the people that I meet, humans are irrational beings, and the majority of human beings out there are. So human beings are beautiful and able to solve problems. But right now we have a problem with education where most people are desensitized, short-term thinking, not very disciplined, not very, they're just caught up in all this nonsense that they're taught to believe is important. And they're absolutely, at least, my cohort, they're absolutely just brain numbed by the public school system, just absolutely brain numbed. And why not? Why wouldn't they be? I mean, again, this all comes back to economics for me. The central banks have inflated our currency so much and absolutely decimated the middle class because it didn't used to be this way. People didn't used to be this dumb, right? But when you decimate the middle class and you subsidize poverty and you stress tensions through all kinds of means, people are forced to focus on their own economic well-being over enlightenment and understanding history and understanding politics and being active. And that is what corrupts a nation. That's what destroys ethics, values, and virtues, and also education. So it's not a big surprise. I think this is a natural result when you manipulate a nation's currency. And it's the central banks that are responsible for that, which is why it's an amazing time in history when we can participate in Bitcoin, help grow the newest technology, and simultaneously participate in something that can actually make the world a significantly better place, better than we've ever seen it before. Bitcoin does not buy hookers. People buy hookers. Don't blame the corn. Watch the debate, Spoon. Should have got someone else besides Jack Ma, but it was good to show the stark difference between generations for sure, man. Sasquatch is real. Well, duh. Of course, Sasquatch is real, man. So in the short term, it's like, man, we're in a rough spot. But long term, I have faith in humanity because otherwise, what are you going to do? You're going to sit around and cry, or are you going to get out there and solve problems and be an entrepreneur and break things and figure out how we can push past this, man? You want to be on the winning team. It goes, this might sound silly, man, but I really like, I'm a big student of history, man. And I think a lot of people over dramatize the Spartans. But this goes back. This is Greco thought. To die a glorious death. And this populated other civilizations as well. Obviously we have noble deaths, that's pretty romanticized with like Japanese shinobi and Japanese samurai, which generally people don't really understand that level of history either. But it's this idea of actually we always talk like, you don't want to die on this hill, right? That's a meme. That's a saying that people say, right? You got to find a hill upon which you're willing to die. You have to find something that gives your life meaning and purpose and value because, life's tough, man. Life's tough. And you got to find something that you can just grab and lift on your shoulders and say, you know what? Yeah, this hill, I'm going to die on this hill because this hill if I, you know, if I win this battle, then my life's going to be better. My family's life's going to be better. Society's going to be better. Humanity's going to be better. And maybe, just maybe, I'm the guy that can maybe come up with a solution to fix things. It doesn't have to be Elon Musk. It doesn't have to be somebody like Albert Einstein. It doesn't have to be some super genius like Stephen Hawking. You watching right now, you can do it. Get up off your ass and go solve the problems that we face as a society. There's nothing stopping you except your own lack of initiative. But I digress. John McAfee 2020. In that vein, let's talk about some lighter stuff as we exit. So the question of the day, guys, this is the most pressing question of the day. All right, look at this dude right here, man. Right? Tell me that Donald Trump does not stand like a centaur without its hind legs. I mean, I gotta know. Do you guys see it? Tell me you see that. And look at, okay, so like, let's not, like, you know, we don't got to talk about Ivanka, right? But like, look at the, like, is this picture manipulated? Because look at these dudes standing. Look at these dudes standing, man. Who stands like that? It's like these guys just learned about walking. Come on. Oh my God. Like, how do you roll your hips back that far, man? Oh my God. All right. What else do we got here? Okay. This is a good one right here. We're going to do this one. Okay. So this is, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I want to turn on, what do I want to do? I want to add an audio output capture. Yes. Speakers. And make this device. Speakers. Okay.
Crypto Twitter noobs.
Okay, here we go. All right. You guys ready? This is the best. All right.
Crypto Twitter noobs. Watching the professionals on BitMEX using leverage. They already joined their paid groups. Intently, they watch their charts and their signals. The professionals. They're making money. Noob gets greedy. Gets a ref link from BitMEX. Doesn't think twice. Jumps in. 100 times leverage. All in. Very quickly understands he's in deep water. And guess who shows up? Arthur Hayes. Noob freaks out, understands he's getting liquidated, tries to take his losses and get back to safe ground. Arthur, the usual smile. Twitter watches on as little man freaks out. Other traders keep trading. This guy just wants to get back out. He can't wait to tell his Twitter buddies to never do that again. Wrecked.
I want to thank Voice of Crypto so much for, I don't know if you made that, but that was absolutely amazing. That made my morning. That was the best thing that I've seen. Okay. If you guys do a Google search for Basecamp, I came across this. I think this is absolutely hilarious. And this is talking about how if you run like four paid ads above people just trying to honestly advertise their business, and this is something that we run into as well. It's difficult, man. I mean, this kind of stuff is really, really difficult for startup companies and people without people without a lot of capital. But All right. So now this is from Paul Joseph Watson, and some people like him, some people hate him, but sometimes he posts some cool stuff. But I would just want to say like a huge difference between the IQ levels of American protesters who want to burn an American flag because they don't know who to be mad at. They're like, let's burn the flag. I don't know. How about you just like go buy Bitcoin and like let's destabilize the central bank and make this country great again, and actually make the world a better place. Compare that to Hong Kong, which is in a battle against a totalitarian dictator state, China. And again, Hong Kong has a lot of Western civilization liberties and values, and again, they don't want what China wants to do to them. So look at the difference in the protest. Well, and again, let's look at this. Antifa. And again, let's just be real. Like American protesters against, I don't know, racism or whatever the heck they're protesting against. They're not being oppressed. The police aren't showing up and battering them with clubs. Okay. Look what's going on over in Hong Kong, right? People are being killed. They're shooting tear gas in the streets. People are being silenced. People are being violently oppressed. There's a huge difference, man. But look at this. Look what these dudes are doing over in Hong Kong, man. This is like when the kid that screwed up the curve in organic chemistry decides to get involved with politics. That is liquid nitrogen. That's liquid nitrogen. All right. He's taking the tear gas and shaking and using liquid nitrogen to reduce tear gas to its harmless solid form. That's real life, man. That's real life. Man. Meanwhile, over in America. All right, so coming back to the 4-hour time frame, we're getting a little bit of sell action here. Nothing insane, nothing I'd say to call home to mom about. We're still above the upper boundary of volatility. We did bounce nicely off of the 4-hour order block and the 4-hour baseline. Currently making 10,428 an invalidation level on the 4-hour time frame. Again, we talked about this earlier. There's really no information of date on the daily unless you're trying to be predictive. Obviously, if you're trying to trade the reversal on the daily, then you're going to be selling the 10,769, 10,920 tap. Now, we did tap that 10,769 on yesterday's high. Excuse me. And so that would be the setup that you're currently in. Now, I think the good profit taking level off of that was the tap of the 4-hour order block, the 10,427. So what we're looking at right now is, again, if we see price creep up, I think back above that 10,769 level, I think we're likely to see a lot of stops starting to get triggered, man. There's a lot of liquidity above that 10,920. And if we see that run, then and again, that's likely to occur before a big move to the downside anyways, because we're often going to see a stop run, especially right now. It just seems like right now is a prime time. And if price does descend from here, that I would actually be like less likely, I think, in my opinion. But anyways, there is a lot that does validate that. But again, on the daily, we also have to counteract that with the fact that regardless of the pattern, regardless of the meme that we're trading in, regardless of all the levels, we have to look at our indicators, and our indicators are bullish. Our indicators are bullish, and we've only gotten a primary. So here's a primary signal on. Let's look at this. Let's get rid of the lines. All right, let's get rid of the volatility expander. Let's look at this, right? Okay. All right. Primary signal on Wadatar explosion. 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 I don't know. You tell me. JT, the throne of many gains. I like that one. I'm going to put that in the, put it in there. So that's something I'm going to do. I got some meetings today, man. I got quite a bit of meetings today in the afternoon. But I've got like at least 30 suggestions, and I've got the chat log saved here. So if I miss anything, I'll make sure I go back and get this up. I'll try to get with Scott and get the giveaway page created maybe by tomorrow. And as I said, we're going to list all the options, and next to the option is going to be the person who recommended it. And and then we'll run the competition. People can go there and vote. And whoever wins will get not only will I call the new chair, which has already come, so I probably won't set it up. I don't think I'm going to have time to set it up. I'm going to be really busy. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm doing with the developers, but I'll have it set up come Monday. And hopefully we can kick off that competition tomorrow. And we'll give $25 to whoever wins. Give $25 to whoever wins in Bitcoin. Okay, so having said that, man, thank you guys for joining. I think that's the level that we want to talk about. Everything else, again, the last thing that I want to keep my eyes on too is that 4-hour order block and baseline. So that's coming in at 10,428. As I talked about, close below that level, I'm going to get out of my long. Right? In a very specific way. All right, so that's about it, guys. Hey, you over there, I see you. Thought you could hide? You've been there this whole time? Thank you guys so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. I, of course, have been your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor around these parts. Thank you guys so much for spending your afternoon with me. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Really great show today, guys. High energy, good vibes, good entertainment. And I just really want to dovetail on what I said there toward the end. I really do believe that everybody watching the show has amazing potential within them. And that might sound like kind of wallpapery, or that might sound kind of like novelty, but it's not, man. I mean, really, the oldest ethoses are the best wisdom that we generally can get. And the reality is this: get off the couch, go do something, make your life better, and make the world a better place. Because just sitting around complaining about how much the world sucks, we know, man, the world sucks. You don't have to live in that world. You can change that world. That is the difference between death and life, is your ability to turn entropy into order. Okay? So do that. Or else, I mean, you're basically giving the same people that you rail against carte blanche to continue to do it. Because again, evil triumphs when good men fail to act. So don't be that. Don't allow evil to win. Anyways, guys, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, or death threats, I hear you, Antifa, leave them in the section down below. I'll try to get back to you within the next 48 hours, and entering a comment will also enter you in to win tomorrow's crypto comment giveaway winner. I want to thank this month's crypto comment giveaway sponsor, X42 Protocol. You can check them out at x42.tech. Shout out to Revival Tech Repair, creator of awesome custom computers as well as IT solutions and website front-end design. Shout out to our partner coins, Spectre Security Coin, X42, MMO Coin, and 0Z. Awesome, guys. Make sure to go check them out. Links in our Discord. If you haven't joined the community already, make sure to head over to discord.krakencryptocurrency.com to communicate with other traders and investors and learn the way that we do things. And if you guys are a new or aspiring trader, and if you'd like to learn along, get personal mentoring, and trade along with us, utilize our proprietary indicators, take our course, and learn the way that we do things around here, you guys should head over to premium.krakencryptocurrency.com to read everything that the group can offer to you. Until tomorrow, guys, trade safely. Make sure to hit the like button on your way out unless you've already hit it, which in case is going to disqualify you. So don't, just one. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Trade safely.